Hey everyone, welcome back to another video in my Learning to Draw series. Today I wanted to go over the different kinds of drawing pencils that you can use for a black and white drawing. So what I wanted to do today was just give you a simple little exercise for getting used to these pencils, and so when you're drawing you could just get the sense of how dark they are or how light they are and how soft or how hard the points are. So here we go. So your pencils work this way. Your HB is the middle tone, or it's like the 0. And as you climb up from HB, you can go to HB, 2B, 4B, 6B, and I have an ebony, which is right here, which is your darkest. Okay, and then from the HB you can go down to 2H, 4H, and then 6H. Okay, so try to think of the HB as like the 0, and if you go up in the Bs, it's like climbing +2, +4, +6 in darkness, and the 2, 4, and 6 going this way is like negative numbers. So you're going 2 negative, 4 negative, 6 negative, and that's pretty much it. So just to kind of give you a sense of what they look like, I'll just do a quick exercise, and you can do this, and you should also do this in your sketchbook as well. So what you can do is just make a mark like this, and what I would recommend is that you just put a little HB there, take your 2B, and as I'm making these marks, I'm just putting medium pressure. I'm not pressing down all the way. So here's my 4B. Again, I'm putting medium pressure. Here's my 6B. And here's the ebony. So I'm putting medium pressure down. And now I'll go to the H's. So here we go. So here we have a 2H. Again, I'm doing medium pressure, and you can immediately see how this is getting lighter. Just a little bit more. Here's my 4H. And here is the 6H. So I'm putting medium pressure down for all of these. And it should be pretty evident, okay, that the H's are lighter and the B's are darker. So, whoops, I just dropped that on everything. There we go. And you could just make this little mark for yourself as a quick reference. If you just want to do this in your sketchbook just to show your teacher or someone else, this might come in handy if you're maybe trying to get credit for doing this kind of work in a sketchbook. This is a good little exercise to do. So you could just write this down, that as you climb up you get darker. And I really can't translate this with the camera, but also when you're climbing, it's also getting softer. So the actual graphite here, okay, this is actually getting softer. So when you go ahead and you start to use it, the tip, it starts to, it loses its pointiness pretty quickly. And then as we go this way, just do this in a lighter pencil, might be better. we get lighter, and the tips get harder. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're shading something. Okay. I also wanted to point out something which can really help you out when you're drawing, and that is to understand the nature of paper. So if we were to look at a piece of paper on its side, okay, and if we were to look really close, and we can't do this with the camera, but if we were to look really close, a piece of paper is going to have all these different fibers, and for simplicity's sake, I'm going to pretend that those fibers are kind of like a carpet. And when we press down with our pencil, now just realize this is kind of an exaggeration here. When we're pressing down, we're taking these fibers and we're pushing them down a bit. And if we press really hard, we're just smashing those fibers down, or the tooth of the paper. That's kind of like a funny term, but that's what it's called. Now, why is that important? Well, let's just say you want to blend from one value to another. So let's say you're blending your values, and you decide that you want to do some shading where you want to go from light to dark, and you want to blend from here over. If you're not careful, if you press your pencil down all the way when you're doing your blending, okay, so let's say I take my I'm just going to take my 2H and I'm going to press down as hard as I can. That paper's the tooth of the paper is really smashed down. So if you go to try to blend it with another pencil, let's say I take my 4B or my 6B, this might be hard to see, but when you try to blend the two, it may not be the best blend. Now, it's really hard to see with the camera, but you're just going to have to trust me on this. Just know that if you've pushed down all the way with your pencil, and I'll just lift this up to the camera so you can kind of see maybe that, there we go. You can kind of see that if you've pressed it down all the way, what happens is the graphite on the pencil gets really shiny, and that, here, I'll get a little closer, and that means that you've polished the paper, you've kind of made it ultra smooth, and that doesn't allow any blending in between values to kind of happen gradually. Okay. So you can do this, but just be aware, this is almost kind of like the last step. This would be like a burnishing that you could do if you want to get some of your values to be really dark. But just be aware, when you do this, it makes your drawings have that really shiny look in the light, and that can be desirable or not desirable. It's really up to you, depending upon the effect that you want with your drawing. All right. So I don't have anything else to give you besides this simple little exercise. So you might want to just try this out and see how the pencils feel, and I'll give you the next thing in our next video. All right, I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks.